Welcome back. 219 points lower on the Dow. We're now about 600 points off the all-time intraday high on that index.
Look at the transports.
And there you go, off more than 2% now.
Even as oil continues lower, the price of oil, crude oil in the United States, down $1.50 at $87 and change. That showing the November contract there. We're getting a different quote here on the big board at the New York Stock Exchange, but close enough.
Yeah, it does tell you, though, that there are
down almost 2% as well.
Yeah, some growth concerns underlying all of this activity today. Interest rates are lower. Maybe that could help the housing market, but right now it's a triple dip for home prices that people are talking about. Some are saying that, in fact, it's what's on the horizon, and Diana Olick has the story for us now. Diana?
Well, Kelly, they said it could not happen again. Home prices going negative nationally, but one analyst says the signs are, in fact, pointing in that direction. First, though, I want to give you the latest read on prices. This is from CoreLogic. Home prices nationally were up 6.4% from a year ago in August, and that does include sales of distressed properties. But last year, at this time, they were up twice that much. Now, the folks at CoreLogic claim that the limited supply of homes for sale will keep prices in the positive. Then you've got that other analyst at Clear Capital who says there is a real danger of a triple dip. He's using the West as the canary in the coal mine. Price gains there are coming down sharply because so too are distressed sales. And they say that drop in the West will be enough to impact consumer sentiment, which then in turn could spiral into that third dip in home prices. Now, a survey of real estate agents by Credit Suisse, I know I got a lot of surveys here, well, they found that slower buyer traffic due to the price gains of the past year are leading to more willingness for buyers to sit on the sidelines. And they say sellers are reacting and, again, lowering those list prices. They also say first-time homebuyer costs are approaching recent peaks because of higher rates, higher prices, and mortgage insurance. And because of that, they're actually lowering their estimates for housing starts for 2015 and 2016. More, of course, online, realtycheck.cnbc.com. Guys?
All right, Diana, stay there. Let's talk more about the possibility of a triple dip in real estate.
With Shari Olefson. She's a real estate expert and attorney and founder and director of the Carnegie Group, a Florida-based think tank. Shari, welcome. How likely do you think this triple dip scenario is, and how fearful should we be about it, do you think?
I would not be surprised to see some price drops in certain pockets. For example, we've got pockets in Texas right now where, because of the great job market there and because of such slow construction, prices are really going through the roof, and unsustainably so. I also wouldn't be surprised to see it maybe in pockets in California where we've got particularly Chinese buyers running prices up through the roof for a safe haven, even if they're going to lose a little bit of money. But for the nation as a whole, it's just not going to happen because our fundamentals just aren't out of whack with prices. And in fact, in most of the markets, we're still 3 to 5% under where valuations really should be. Now, certainly, if wages don't continue to increase, we may see price appreciation in homes coming to a grinding halt. But right now, there's a huge difference between the slowdown in appreciation and something that we could ever potentially see calling a drop.
What do you think that would do to Fed policy? I mean, obviously, if they start to raise rates, that puts even more pressure on this real estate market that we're talking about is kind of anemic right now. Overall.
Yeah, the numbers are something like for every quarter of a point increase, you're outpricing another 25% of the population or something like that. For sure, that's one of the reasons that the Feds are keeping the rates low as they've been. And no one's expecting any dramatically huge increases, jumps in rates. That would be a slow increase. It's bound to happen. I think the bigger issue, Bill, though, is financing and the FHA costs. And, of course, FHA is now looking at that. Jillian Castro recently said, you know, we need to make affordable housing and housing affordability not be a bad word anymore. It's still a hangover from the crisis. And that's the biggest impact holding folks back.
Diana, just a question here as we watch markets. It's an ugly day. And if we've got the 10-year back at 2.35% and Zillow saying that the 30-year mortgage rate is back below 4%, does that alleviate this scenario at all, do you think?
You know, it helps a lot. Look, we've been expecting mortgage rates to go up for the past year, and the thought process was they had to go up, and yet they haven't. Time and time again, every time we see these economic indicators that should push rates up, they don't. But what's more important is not the rate so much as the availability. And while we talk about credit easing a lot, We just got a new report showing, yeah, it's easing for the best buyers out there, for the really top credit-worthy borrowers, but not for the people that we need to get back into this market. But I will say, I do agree with Shari that I think the safety net under prices right now is still that limited, tight supply. I think the price increases are going to shrink dramatically, but to go negative, you'd have to have a dramatic increase in supply on the market, and we're just not seeing that.
I don't think home builders are looking for that, that's for sure. Thank you both. Appreciate your thoughts on the housing market today. Very, very important.